Morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to part 2 of the Switchwire stream. How's everyone doing? Ready to get started. Everybody here? Can everybody hear me? Hello, chat. Hello, everybody. How's everyone's week been? It's been good. Didn't make any major changes. Hey, Kilo, hey, DJ, Brinter Prawn, Derek, and Mr. Clown, and Finch, and Andrew, Nathan. So, we're going to continue work on Switchwire.001 with the goal of doing some dual color prints at some point. Hey, Tracy, Jeremy, Maxime, and Jim from Canada. Excuse me. Ice in Texas, huh? So where did we leave off last week? We had some updating old versions of Mainsail and Moonraker and Clipper problems, but we got through those, which was fun. I had a good time with that, actually. I learned a little bit. Hey, Chris. So the next step, I think, is to finish up some of the mechanical assembly and then get into some of the configuration and stuff. The print just finished on the, I don't know if you can see it, but the blue V0 here. I needed some 30/30 clips. I want to secure these stepper wires in the back. Just put some clips in the extrusions. Oh, yeah. Maxime, did the drying of the Prusement help? Yes, it did. Significantly. Where are those parts? So this was the wet filament. All that stringing and general bleh. And then this is dry filament. Now I already did all this. You've seen me do this a couple of times, this wiring. I promise it won't be the last time I do all the soldering and everything on camera, but I'll probably wait until Stealth Burner release. So yeah, I think it turned out pretty well. Hi, Pavel. Hi, Mr. K. So, yeah, I did this last night, so it should be the latest beta 5 Stealth Burner. We are going to install something cool on this. So I printed, and I can't get my first layer, just doesn't come out right. The little Sanjay silhouette logo, because this is for a Revo Voron. So we will be putting the Revo Voron on here. E3D did send me a production version of it. So I'm very excited to give this a try after using the beta version. Nozzle and screws here. This is a 0.4 nozzle. And this has I haven't previously had the little silicone sock on the nozzle, which it does make it a little easier to thread in. So yeah, this is the Revo hot end and nozzle with the Revo Voron heatsink that was designed within the Voron team by Wiley with input from the group. But the thing that makes this nice is it uses regular M3s instead of M2.5s like a dragon. So M3x8s are what we're using to secure this to in the stealth burner toolhead mount. Now, this isn't, it's called a Revo Voron. That's right, I'm missing a light. Missing a lot of lights. There we go. Now I can see a little better, I think. But there's nothing that makes this Voron specific, so anything that you can design a mount for this whole pattern, which is out there, you can use it on. Sengo, what is the best hot end in your opinion for the 2.4? Depends on your needs. So I think I'm not going to quote a flow rate on this. I know Eddie is doing some detailed tests. This is not a high flow setup. It is the beginning of an ecosystem, kind of like V6 was. So how well they do and how much, what kind of options come out is probably going to dictate how successful this is. But right now, this isn't meant to be a volcano replacement or a dragon high flow replacement. But I have a feeling it will fill 95 to 90 plus % of people's needs. Hey, Tomas. Hey, Kyle. So, yeah. I think I'm going to need to extend the wires on here to get them where I want them to be. So we'll do that as we assemble it. I've got a couple of other parts here. I'd been tweaking the Bowdoin adapter here for Afterburner, so I printed a new version of that to try on here. Echo 2 Papa 2. Thomas Sandlander is doing a review of the Revo and it cut one of the nozzles in half. I saw that. Is it the one that's encased in epoxy? Thanks, Magnus. Evening, Stuart. So last stream we ran a set of wires for the Stealth Burner LEDs through the chain, so we don't have to do that now. Everything's unplugged, so I'm going to pull the old Afterburner tool head off. Yep, I fastened those in there. How is music volume levels and stuff? Everybody good with it? So I had an original Dragon hot end in here before. We'll just set that aside. I'm just going to pull these tubes all the way out right now. Just keep things out of our way. Evening, Loaf. I had planned on an improvement to the stream, well, hopefully an improvement to the stream this week, but it didn't get here in time. I ordered a wireless lav mic. I ordered it, paid the extra for the next day shipping, and FedEx failed me. Yeah, Printer Prawn, I think my viewership would plummet if I subjected you to that. What do we have here? Oh, that's the X end stop. Kyle, I'm not sure if you saw my question a couple weeks ago, but have you considered trying WLED with the Stealth Burner LEDs? Pretty slick animations when you hand all of that off to another MCU. I have not, but it's something I wouldn't mind looking at. I don't know what all I have to take apart here to get this. Where would I find this WLED stuff? I know you can't put a link, but maybe you can just describe it. Hey, Squirrel Brain. I'll do a search. Okay. Screw in here. So this is a little Y adapter that RCF designed back when Switchwire was first released. All it is a printed path to combine the two PTFE tubes into one. I made a slight modification to add the same location mount for a wire cover as Afterburner. So I can use some. I'm gonna try to use this one because it should match up, and this, since I don't have a tool head PCB in there, I'm gonna have more than enough space. You'll need a Wemos D1 Mini or any other decent ESP32 microcontroller, flash WLED2, and hook up the NeoPixel lines to it. You can control with Clipper or Moonraker. Okay, I'll check that out. There's a few things like that I'd like to do. There are more configuration, a little bit of hardware, a little bit of configuration. Alexander Timos, is that Prusament Galaxy Black ASA? No, this is, I have a spool of Prusament Galaxy Black I haven't opened, but this is KVP Stellar Black. Hey, Mehmet. I know I've got your name wrong. I know you've corrected me and I don't remember right now. Okay. This piece right here, I want to take off next. So this is a piece that I designed or adapted. The original Bowdoin adapter has two different pieces here. One for the IGA style 2-hole cable chains and one for the 3-hole, and I just made it so that the existing adapter we use on Afterburner cable chain mount will just bolt to the back of this. So I need to do some heat set inserts and get this going. You mean KVP Stellar Dark Gray? These are pretty good. KVP has had some pains. So kind of going to Timothy's question, is KVP still the preferred vendor for ABS with everything going on? I've had good luck with all the spools I've gotten. I haven't seen some of the problems that others have, but I can't ignore that some people have had problems and they've had some pains since moving their facility. So you'll find a lot of opinions probably if you search on Discord for KVP suggestions or whatever. Bin of heat sets and switch my soldering iron over to heat set tip. Temperature down. Have I seen any major quality difference between the Mark III and the Switchwire? One thing I get on the Mark III that I don't remember getting on the Switchwire is every Mark III has those little tiny VFAs, vertical fine artifacts, that I've never bothered getting away, because sometimes that aesthetic looks reasonable, looks fine. I don't remember getting that on this. Go ahead and try out, there we go. So slightly sunk in from the surface because the cable chain mounts have a little feature to index into some of the stepper motors. So just want to make sure I get that down and flush with the bottom surface there. I think you can see if the camera focused. I've got these other glasses on, so I can't tell. I think the only other two are from this side on this. What else do I need? I need a couple of heat sets on this. But first, to clean up the mating surface. Just a little bit, just to take the high spots off from the extrusions. Make sure they fit nice and tight. Not much. Where are we at? What did I get? Okay. Still trying to convince everyone to use WLED. I know it's better, but the question, have you hooked yours up via serial or Wi-Fi? I don't know. Shadow's still clipped on the bottom. I know, I noticed that, Andrew. I tried changing the size of the window in OBS and it didn't change. So I'm not sure what to do about that. Okay, where are we at? So this thing can go back on here. Let's go through there. Here. Jeremy, just want to let you know I just finalized clickied input shape my first Voron 2.4 with the help of all your past live streams. Awesome. I'm glad they were helpful. Wish Mr. RCF took another side quest and designed a new Delta Voron. Yeah, I think the Delta ship has sailed. That seems to be fitting on there just fine. And the idea is this would fit over all of this, bolt right there. Seems to okay. This design uses a little spacer that I think I've glued these on here before. I think I'm going to do that again. Are there any space-efficient Delta designs? Footprint on a Delta isn't too bad. It's the height. Let me grab a little screw. This on here. This is a different cover, DJ Natty. This is one that Hart, I think, that Hart designed, and then I tweaked. It doesn't fit over the toolhead PCB very well, though. It's a very tight fit. That was probably too much glue, but we'll see if I end up gluing my fastener on here. Just leave the fastener out and just hold it in there. There we go. Little activator. Yeah, this cover looks okay, but it's I don't think I moved the inside surface, but it still is too tight on a with the toolhead PCB. But here I'm gonna be the cables are gonna be swimming in room, but that's fine. Kyle, you sent me a video on Discord showing a quick animation. Once you're up and running with WLED, you can pretty much turn LED commands into macros to select. Okay, I'll check that out after the stream. Yep, no problem. Let's put this together. I'm certain I am going to need to extend these wires to reach mine. So there are a couple of ways you can go about installing the Revo Voron in this tool head, right? So this fits in here pretty well. And then the wire path that is covered here goes in that direction. So we're going to, this just, which way? That. You can turn this, it's easier because it's a, so let me start over. There's a spring in between the heater block and the heat sink. Kind of see that in there. Let me just take this all the way out. There's a spring in there. That means that you can turn this clockwise, looking at it from this direction. You can turn this easier. Oh, you can turn this easier counterclockwise than clockwise because it loosens that spring and allows it to rotate on the little groove that's in here. I want that to go straight out the side for my install here. So let's put this back in here. It's going straight out the side. This is our first option, is we can go out the side. We can slightly bend this strain relief, which you don't want to bend more than a few times. And then bring your wires up through this wire path. Now, the concern I have with doing it that way is as you are removing this, just kind of hold things in place. As you're removing the nozzle, what I'd want is to make sure, and that actually does okay. I don't want this to tweak the heater block out of position, if you get what I mean. I want this to kind of float without being pushed around by the wires. The alternate that I've done on the other, my other install with the beta unit, is I sent the wires going straight up and then immediately turned it back, so I have this length of wire to act as a strain relief. Did all that make sense? Now the question is, if I leave this like this, will I have enough wire to reach without extending those wires? No, the thermistor wires are shorter, so I'm gonna have to extend them anyway. So I'm gonna go with the way that that I installed the beta version. So I'm gonna go rotate this to where it goes straight forward as this gets installed. So this is going to go like this, and then bend straight back and follow the path. And I'm going to move that heat shrink. But that gives me all of this length to act as kind of a strain relief on that end. So with that, I'm going to depin these. And I'm only depinning them instead of just cutting them off because I want to reuse the housings. And I think it'll be easier to depin. Well, they have a lot of wire connected to them. So I think I showed this, I think last stream or maybe the stream before. We're using the official Molex tool. Just kind of rotating it in there to get that tang on the pin bent back. Either of them. There we go. Got one of them. There we go. Hey, John from Hungary. 3 of them done. There we go. You broke your extractor tool. Said, I think you just have to be, you want to twist it rather than bend it. Time will tell whether that extends the life of the tool I have here. But okay, I have around here a box that came in, and it had some extra wire here that I think I'm going to use, and some PTFE tubing. All of these are the female pins that go into the male connector. This little heat shrink label, I think I'm going to leave it there and just tuck it into the wire channel. So I'm going to leave that on there. Hey, Sanity. Welcome. More tools, strippers. I am going to change this from the two pins to a single 4-pin, because that's what I use on the harness side. Hey, Doc. I am going to throw this one, which I don't have the hot side for yet, into one of my V0s. Then I don't know where I'm going to put the other one. Hey, Weekend Warrior. Is YouTube not sending out the notifications for you? Did you ring the bell? Did you like and subscribe? Five days for beer. I'm going to use dual M4 extruders. These guys. I have 2 of them mirrored to each other. One of them goes right here. One of them goes right here. Are there alternatives out there for this connectors? Yeah, there is, let me see if I can find it here. There is on Amazon, you can get these, I don't know what they're called. What do they call them? JST SMs. They're a relatively low profile, small connector. JST SM. I bought this kit off of Amazon. And to remove, these are more like, like another JST. You've got the slots on the side of the connector housing that gives you access to push back the little pin to remove the connectors. Sanity, one day I'll set that up. You know, YouTube scares you when you go to set that up. They say, make all the right decisions now because you will reset your membership count if you make any changes later. So that's made it so I want to make sure I make the right decisions when I set that up. You plan to build an ERCF? Yes, but I need to finish sourcing the parts. Kilo, no. These are microfits. Someone asked for alternatives to microfit. Why I identified JST SMs, they're out there. I don't know if they're great or not. When I do, I will probably stick to YouTube channel memberships. I don't want to manage multiple platforms. I don't want to deal with, if I want to do a members only stream, I don't want to I want everybody to be on the same page. Okay, we are going to extend these wires. So I'm going to start by cutting off these old pins. And I am going to stagger my joints. Just a habit I'm in. I'm going to go back about almost a centimeter. And what that'll do for a couple of things is it'll make sure that if there is any wire pokes through the insulation or whatever, it's unlikely to short against the pin next to it. But it also, when I heat shrink these, it'll minimize the bulge. Thomas, 19 euros. Thank you. Kind of member. See? I appreciate that, Tracy. I do think a dedicated stream to just talk about stuff and ways to improve the channel and stuff might be fun. You can always donate. Yep. I'm interested in YouTube's new, upcoming thanks feature or whatever that will allow, it's basically super chats outside of a live stream. What am I looking for? I'm looking for heat shrink tubing. I think that'll be enough. That's a significant difference, Jeremy, on the current rating. I didn't realize that. Hey, Dimitri from Helsinki. Okay, let's see if we can get some level of view of what I'm doing. I think let's go with the 20 gauge first. Nope. That's good enough. This fiberglass insulation is a pain to deal with because you end up with all these little stringy bits. I am going to try to try. That's not working as well as just kind of trimming them out of the way with the side cutters. Just trying to get those and not the wires. Fiberglass insulation, bend the tip of the wire, I'm assuming, a sharp 90 and cut away the insulation. Okay. I don't have a micro torch. So I'm going to take the wiring that E3D cent. I'm just going to cut a length of this. I don't know how much I'm going to need. So let's just cut these off since I can just replace those. Those are... And I'm going to cut way more than I'm going to need. Mr. Wires were a little shorter. This is all going to get cut way down, but I don't want to do it twice. Hey, Dark Neutrino. Use my teeth. So because I cut these staggered, I need to cut this staggered as well. So I'm just going to kind of estimate that. Yeah. Use my teeth. That's a terrible idea. But I think I've got little notches in my front teeth because I did used to do that as a kid when I was tinkering with this stuff. It's a bad idea. Turn the heater up. Use a knife. Also a bad idea. Yeah. Wait a little bit. Let's see how this... I need to build a fume extractor for soldering. I can only hold my breath so long. Heat shrink, yep. So, now I've done that, I'm gonna push this other heat shrink further back and then cut a bunch of little snippets to cover these. Hopefully I've got enough. I think I do. Solder inside the V22.4. What do we got? Tracy, could be wrong, but I think content creators get some form of revenue sharing from YouTube probes, subscribers, viewers. I have no idea. I haven't turned ads on any of my videos. I don't... The revenue from ads is minuscule, and I don't think it's I'm not concerned about it. Oh, it's in place. You guys can see. One. It's two. It's three. How close was that? I am going to trim this because I was a bit off. The other one I was good. This one I was off. Just trim that much. Restrip. Retin. Nope. This one I just stripped really close, so let's just go fix it that way. There we go. Andrew Owens, good morning from Japan. Charlie is doing great. He is sleeping right now. You get anything from YouTube Premium members viewing without the add-ons? I have no idea. I haven't seen anything show up in revenue that's not Super Chats. So maybe not. I'm not worried about it. Hi, Rain. So now I'm going to position the heat shrink over the joints. And I've got a heat gun just over the way. Let me hit it real quick. Okay. So this is done, but see how staggering the joints just means that there's less bulk in those areas. Hi, Evil. Hi, Knights from the UK. Turn my iron off. I think I can put some of this stuff away for now. I bought this shirt at a Subi Fest. I've been to 2 of them. Kevin Smith, what makes the Switchwire different from the V0.1? Several things. Build size. Kinematics. This is a Core XZ versus Core XY. Bed movie. What do you have, Cameron, for a car? What is... Oh. Andrew, Charlie Fun, 20 euros. Thank you. Went to the Midwest Subi Fest. Couldn't make it to the big meets. Yeah, I go to the SoCal one. Well, I've been twice. Okay, now I'm going to put this in. So, like I said, I'm going to send that as a strain relief. That way, I'm going to hide this label from E3D in the there, and this go on there like that. Agnes, as I'm adding fans to my printer, didn't you have a small PCB to control an extra fan with an I/O on a printer? What are they called? I'm not quite sure what you're referring to. There is the... Where did I put that? Maybe it's over here. There is a board called the Klipper Expander that gives you many extra controllable outputs and thermistor inputs. Is that what you were talking about? Called the Klipper Expander. Oh, I see. You're talking about it's just a MOSFET board that I used on here, the little green board from last stream. I'll point it out again when I flip this thing. Mygals, what all do you have done to the STI? I don't know if it's a great idea for me to do that, to list that. If you're really curious, message me on Discord. I live in California. So the PTFE tube needs to stick up 10 millimeters over this surface. So where is my... Had my ruler somewhere. There it is. Right there. And my little PTFE cutting jig that I do have out on GitHub now. Let's do this a little more safe direction. There we go. And then I am going to take my Yep, all stock. So this is a countersink bit I bought off Amazon just for the entrance. So I'll put the flat side in towards the hot end, filament goes down, and just in case, just to minimize its chance of getting caught. Multiple Charlies on the STI. How many Charlie power equals 1 horsepower? I probably have about 10,000 Charlie powers then. And that's probably a low estimate. Okay, M3x8s to secure the Revo Voron. Just regular M3x8s, which is nice. Feel like I'm a teenager's sweaty rave with this music. It's just stream beats. I can change the channel if you guys want. Just pick one. B. McNichol, if you look on the Voron users GitHub, I have a folder there, STV PTRSN. If you search for that, you will find that little jig, the STL for it. So yeah. Plenty of wire coming out, plenty of strain relief for the hot end. That should do. So now, what do I need from here? I need the 4-pin, that one, and need 4 the male terminal. There we go. So this is going to go up like that. These wires are going to go sneak in like this. I don't want too much wire. Something like that. And then what are the... That's this one. So we're going to cut these right about there. Just... Was the camera able to actually catch that? Saying multiple Charlies because I have multiple cat converters. I think my STI still has one catalytic converter. Good morning, Roy. Something like that. And then I'm going to do a final trim, just get them all right spot. So the way I wire up all of my Vorons to be consistent with the tool heads is I use the middle 2 pins for the heater and the outer 2 pins for the thermistor. Let's go ahead and even worse for California car tuners because they have not so good pump gas. Yeah, 91, and it's bad. It's 91 ACN. Arizona, California, Nevada, I think is what that stands for. It's not even as good as 91. If you could get 91 somewhere else, it would probably be better. The Stealth Burner is not designed around 3mm filament. It would not be currently possible. Hi, Johnny Boy Tech. I'm doing good. Hi, Claudius. I have an E85 station less than a mile from my house. And then we'll put in here. Sorry about that. I have not had time to fix that wire cover. I think it's going to work as is for the Switchwire though, because I don't have a tool head PCB under there. To drive 20 minutes to get good E85, my car eats it up fast. Yeah. You can get AV gas. It's not nearly as common as E85 though. And here in Sacramento, there are probably a dozen E85 stations spread out. So it's the fuel of choice for vehicles that can use it. Okay, I think, oops, let's switch over here. I think we can tuck this out the back there and make sure those wires are tucked into the little notch. There we go. This is going to plug in right there. What is this one? That must be the fans. Okay. I should have put some heat shrink over this or used some black wire for the thermistors. Oh well. Okay, I'm going to take the old fan because on this particular printer, I used a 4-pin connector the opposite direction for the fans, which means I need to reuse that. Oh, excuse me. There we go. I need to reuse the fan setup I did before, so let's duplicate that. I already modified my 5015. I don't know that I have. Let me see if I have a fresh 4010 I can put in here. There we go. That'll work. Label side in. I think I'm just going to go right like that. Snap that right into place. Wires go up through the little wire channel, and I will cut them to length here in a minute. I've taken to, I don't know if you can see, but I've taken to super gluing the wires to that little tab there, just so they can't come out. So snap this thing in here. And then a couple of flathead screws. Alexander, which is your favorite Voron? I am obligated to say Trident because I am biased. What I meant to say is my totally unbiased opinion is Trident. All my stuff gets copyright issue on making a video. That's why I just stream beats. I mean, I got that from Nero. He uses stream beats. It's all royalty free. I haven't looked elsewhere for alternate music. You guys haven't complained on the variety yet, so I haven't had a need to. Have I been able to incorporate 3D printing into my STI build? I've printed a few brackets for things. My radar detector, my phone mount, and a bracket for something under the engine I'm not going to mention. I'm probably going to control some of these with a little bit of heat shrink, I think. Them all come out about the same spot. I don't need much wire here. These connectors. Let's go about there. DJ Natty, when the 2.4 R2 comes out? Soon. Sooner than last time I said soon. Echo 2 Papa 2, do you think the Stealth Burner fan cover needs a zip tie mounting? I don't think it would hurt, but let's see what it's. Heat shrink. That with the 2.4R2 was my response to your biasness to Trident. Oh. So a big part of 2.4R2 is really bringing any little quality of life and whatever changes from Trident to the 2.4. Oh, I hope I didn't cut that too short. Just do a small piece. Hopefully this is all long enough. We will find out. Hey, BBs. Hey, Steve, when are you going to build a 0.1? I built 4 of them. Wow. 3 0.1s. 2 0.1s, 1 0.0, and 1 that was a mix of the two. There is no time window for the final version of Stealth Burner yet. Let's see, let me catch up. Major changes in P2.4R2. I think I covered that. A few other little things. Everything that's being done in 2.4R2 that's covered in my LDO kit build. Okay, I need to figure out what my pinout was for this so I can match it here. And I'm just going to look at it and try to follow these wires. Maybe I cut the insulation off of here. So I've got hot end fan to those two. Hot end fan is the thicker wires. Let me grab my microfits again. need the male version of the pin. 2 of these and 2 of these. And where's the... That one goes up there, which means just like that. Yep. Okay. And one more. Now let's make sure we get the polarity right. Yep. There we go. Down there, that's going to go there. All of this is going to go right like that. Is there a video of the 0.1 build? So, what did I do? The 0.1 build, I built an LDO kit. It was gold frame, and I did it in Discord chat. That's how I started. That's how I wanted to do this whole thing. I had this idea that I wanted to be able to actually verbally, audibly chat with people back and forth. And the 0.1 build went fairly well, but I made this mistake of my setup only caught my side of the conversation. So I've never uploaded it because a lot of what's going on is going to be completely out of context and probably not going to be fun for people to listen to. If you watch the first couple of videos of my Orange Trident build, they were in Discord chat as well. And it quickly became evident that that just wasn't going to work. So I kept wanting to talk, but not want to interrupt other people that were talking. And I don't think the experience for the listeners or people watching the video on demand later was very good. So that's why I've switched to the traditional YouTube streaming setup. Hi, Sven. Did you see the pretty colors of Nero's 2.4 frame color? What colors was he going with? Is that the sparkle cloud whatever and something else? Hey, Christopher. Okay, is this ready to go on here? I think so. So let's sneak these wires here. Hide these. I think that's gonna go right like that. Need some 50mm screws and some 20s, I think. It's doing the space gray frame, and then the what, sparkle cloud or whatever from. And then I don't know if it was what the accent color or which direction he was going with that. I did go a little short on those fan wires, but I think it'll be okay. That space gray LDO frame is gorgeous, though. Go. I keep wanting to pull the tool head towards me. So I'm going to plug the fan wires in. And the NeoPixel wire. All that can go like that. Grab our cover here. Oop. Take the M3x8 that's already in there out. I think I need to grab a by 16. I think. Oh, I already have one in here. Yeah, that will work. Is that? Oh, that's not going to work. Because this little spacer is designed to go over a tool head board, right? So what kind of space am I looking at here? The little spacer is designed to butt up against a tool head board, which I don't have on here. I think I can get away with maybe just try like a 20mm screw. See what happens. This might be a 25 on accident. Yeah, let's grab it. Things going flying. I think that'll be fine. Let's get a little closer view. Not going anywhere. Miss anything in chat? Christopher Swanson, I think the best way to wire up your tool head is when you're doing your harness, start at the tool head. Have just enough wire with just a smidge to give yourself some slack to fit under the tool head. If you start at the controller and work your way up and then try to figure out how long everything needs to be, you're going to have a more difficult time than starting at the tool head and then run through your chains to the controller. I had a little piece go flying a second ago. I may have to find later. That is looking pretty good. A good mod for the Switchwire is a 9mm belt mod for the Y-axis. The bed isn't that heavy. I'm not sure what you gain by 9mm other than more difficult time in routing it. Always better to have excess that you can trim afterwards. But the excess you can have down in the controller area. Martin, thank you for the in-depth Voron 2.4 tour. I'll be watching that one back and forward the next couple of months. €5. Thank you. That is looking good. I think it's done. Is the STL for this cover available? Not yet, because it's intended to work with the toolhead PCB, and it doesn't fit very well. Missed the beginning what extruder is being used. So the extruders are M4s. 2 M4s. The hot end is a Revo Voron. I'll put these back. Might be able to get a little bit of a view of the Revo Voron there. A little bit. I have a legacy, and I've got a couple of videos of me basically rebuilding much of it. Let's tension the belts, because remember I took the XZ steppers off so I could align the Y carriage. So let's get these belts tensioned. Still on the fence with the Revo nozzles being proprietary and expensive. Then again, how often do I replace nozzles? Yeah, one of my for the proprietary and expensive thing, I think as any, they're trying to build an ecosystem, give it time. One thing that it does makes me hesitant to swap over to these on all my printers, because honestly, flow rate is probably enough for the printing I do. But I like to print some of the filled stuff. So a hardened nozzle option with the Up-Exian or whatever they call it coming out will be useful. I left a tool that I want in the other garage. Let me go grab it. It'll be about 30 seconds and I'll be right back. Anyway, anybody who can read lips will hopefully find that somewhat funny. Okay, so you've seen these before. I used them when I was assembling the frame. They come in a 2-pack. They work well as 2 same height devices for this part. So I'm going to set these on either side, and I am going to, first we're going to get these somewhat tensioned. Let's loosen these. And tighten the tensioning screw just to get them close. Now, from either side of the bed and referenced against the bottom of the MGN12 rail, not the bottom of the extrusion, we're going to move this down until it touches one of them. And I don't know if we can get a better, I don't know if the angle is going to be good for this. Ah, yeah. Okay. Tool head's going to be in the way. I don't think I can avoid that, but you see this one, lots of space. This one's touching. That means this side needs to be tensioned. So as I tension this, it should slowly move down. Okay. I know the camera's having a little tough time focusing. I'm going to run the tool head through much of its range of motion and bring it back and see where we're at. We're still a little bit on this side. Run it through its motion. A little bit more. Now they're touching about the same time. And you can feel, so let's go through run it through its range. You can feel where they, maybe just a tiny bit more. These squares I got off of Amazon. I am sure you can get them on Ali. Now they're touching at the same time. You can feel the friction as they touch the rail. Gonna lock the drives in place. And if we did that well, we should see that in the mesh. got these wires here that are just kind of hanging for the extruders. So let me grab those 3030 clips that I printed. Just kind of control those a little bit. Printed these on my V0. These are in the Switchwire repo. What I'm gonna do is just kind of shove that in there, and it just it doesn't need to, you don't need many of them. It's just gonna hold that connector up in the 3030 slot. I'm gonna do 2 of them over here since on this one, the keyback mount kind of controls it on the bottom. This side doesn't have that, so. There we go. That's good enough. What else do we have? The extruder cover is a printed part. Yeah. There is a Revo Voron. Not sure what you're talking about. Where are we at? I have not done more research on the nylock or silicone mud. I've dedicated much of my time this week to 2.4 R2 stuff. So the expectation, or the only word I've gotten from E3D on the Revo Voron release, is they will be looking at that after they've fulfilled pre-orders for the Revo Micro and Revo 6. We are not quite at print time. We are going to do, our first stuff though is going to be unenclosed. So we got to do PLA stuff first. So I need to get this ready and mount the things to it without the enclosure on. So let's put some feet on it because I keep dragging it across my table here. So let's put the feet on there temporarily and see if they're gonna, nope, it's not gonna bottom out, so we're good. Make sure the fastener wasn't gonna bottom out in the extrusion. My workbench, I think it's a 24-inch deep countertop. So we were talking about let me get a better view of this. We were talking earlier about this little MOSFET board. The better view so you can compare to what you see on Ali or whatever, or Amazon. So you have your output to your device, your input power. So this just goes to a 24-volt power connector on the board, and it's connected right here on this SKR 1.4. And then your control, and I have that connected to one of the end stop switches over here. So, yep, just a real simple little device for I only needed one extra fan output here. Alternatives would have been like that clipper expander. It's this guy. But this is a little overkill for what I needed. We already hooked up the NeoPixel cable in last stream. We updated firmware and software in the last stream. So let's go ahead and let's get these mounted. What do I have? Need some M5x10s, I think. It's been like a year and a half since I've played with dual extrusion, so that'll be an interesting part of this build is figuring that out. May need some chat help with that. So these are brackets that I had made because when it's on the enclosure, there's a slot in the top, and I wanted the PTFE tubing to be in line with that slot. So this just moves the M4 extruders forward. So that just mounts on these instead of directly to the frame. Obvious notes. Yes, this is Prusament Orange. I have spent way too much trying to find good oranges. I probably have 4 or 5 spools of different oranges. I like this Prusament orange. I would like to find a good burnt orange that doesn't look brown. And even better if it had a sparkle to it. The Prusament is ASA. Hi, David English. Thank you. Rain 3003. Corex Z is a really cool way to do belted Z on a bed flinger. That's why. What was the brand name for the Voron 2.4? The gray was Polymaker. Gray was Polymaker. ABS. There we go. KVP has several oranges. I know it's hard to see through the plastic bags, but these are all KVP oranges. This one is Safety Orange. This one is Agate Orange. And this one is Fluorescent Orange. I haven't printed with this one. I suspect I might like this one too. It's like oranges and greens. I have a lot of variety because I keep looking for that perfect ones. And reds. I have a few reds. And this is the Prusament Orange next to the Safety Orange. I don't think it captures quite right on the camera. This is much paler than this. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Prusament is UV reactive. Where are we at? We can plug the steppers in. Okay. The only atomic ABS I've purchased is they have some of the coolest spools out there. Not super environmentally friendly like the cardboard stuff that's coming out, but this is carbon fiber black ABS. That's the only atomic stuff. I bought their nuclear nylon, but I haven't tried printing with it yet. That's very true, Magnus. I bought lots of stuff just hoping it would be the right color. Let's power this sucker on. While it's doing that, I'm going to put the little mounts for... Oh, that one's going to bottom out, so let me grab a shorter screw. I need 10s. Spool holder. I don't know if I have this out on my GitHub or not, but it's one of those things I need to put out there. The gray in my last 2.4 is the just Polymaker. I bought a new spool recently and they're coming on cardboard now. But it is... Oh, you can probably barely see it there on the bottom. It's just called gray. I like the atomic carbon fiber ABS, but I haven't used any other carbon fiber ABSs. I do have a roll of the PC blend carbon fiber from Prusament that I haven't tried printing with either. I did not have any luck at all with the regular PC blend. I have a roll of that too, and I can't get it to stick. It warps on me. We are powered on. And I think we're good. Switch over. Oh, did I lose a camera? No. Okay. It just froze briefly while it was switching scenes. Let's reconnect to Switchwire. And we've got some warnings because I don't have some macros defined. We can fix that. And I'm going to try going through and homing stuff. X homed. Let's do a Y. Yep. I haven't tried anything from Snow Labs. And let's home Z. Got everything really slow. I'm going to cancel this because I did not adjust the Hinda probe distance, and it looks like it may hit the Revo nozzle before it triggers the Super Pinda. So let me fix that. Let me working again. What is the best way for me to fix that? I'm gonna have to pull the front of the tool bit off. DM me which macros. Nice bot panel. What do you mean? What bot panel? Let's shift this out of the way just enough. Bring the probe down. I'm gonna have to do a few iterations on this. Let's just try that. There. I think I got it the first try. It's going to trigger about a millimeter and a half before the nozzle hits. The ones I'm missing. Oh, I can get the macros from the main cell documentation. I think I'd prefer to do that just to show where we get them and how to, at least the defaults. Obvious notes. I have a Subaru. I have a 2019 STI. It's white. Previously to that, I had a 2015 BRZ. And before that, I had a 2008 blue. My BRZ was white as well. Prior to that, I had a blue 2008 STI. Does he avoiding names choose the armor or the sword? I don't get the reference. Just straight clipper, not Troy fluids or anything. Okay, that is back together. We are back on. Let's put the tool head basically nozzle touching and check our probe state. Just to confirm I'm not going to crash that nice new Voron Revo. So the probe is triggered. So that is good. Let's move it up just a hair. And the probe is open. So it will trigger before the nozzle hits the bed. So I'm just going to do a home all now to make sure everything's good, as slow as it is. And it is sensorless homing on the Y. Oh, I got it. Tracy, that's a good question. I'm not sure. I really don't know. Armor or the sword? I don't know. Here we go. It did fine. Cool. We are functional. Let's do a go here. And the only other thing, don't know what that is. So let's go we're gonna have to redo our Z offset. But what I wanted to do, because I can never remember the exact syntax, let's go to our config checks. And I want to stepper buzz the extruders. I'm not sure why I have Z unstop and probe. We're gonna go down here and one of these is going to do it. We'll figure out, and we're gonna do extruder. See which one goes, and I'll put a camera on it in a second once I figure out. Okay, so that was the other one, so I'll let it finish. For Y, I do like the sensorless homing on this printer. I use sensorless homing on the Legacy as well for X and Y. Let's go here. And I'm going to run stepper buzz extruder 1. And it made the first move in the positive extrude direction, so I think we're good. I think that is. Maybe it was the negative. Yeah, that's the positive extrude direction. Okay. Those are working. What are... see what our hot end thermistor is set up to. Here. Yeah, I have end stop set up as the virtual end stop, so I don't know why it's showing both. Extruder, is the 104 GT2. What is the Revo supposed to be? How do we figure that out? What is the Revo supposed to be? Does anybody know offhand? Let's see. Semitech one? Do I have anything in here? Can we, let's just go here. I thought, didn't it say right here? One of these. Go documentation. Revo Micro firmware guides. I don't think it matters. We're just looking for a thermistor definition. Thermal settings. Temp sensor 0 is 1, which is, what is 1 in here? Okay. Marlin defines thermistors in a table that didn't actually give us a name. Does RepRap give us a better? There we go. Semitech 104 GT2. What I already had. Cool. So we should be good there. We will need to run a PID tune though. Let's do that. Let's go up here and bump up our homing speed. I don't know what we should do for homing speed. Let's just go 100. I don't want to home as fast on Y, and it doesn't take long to home Y. Homing speed is already 35 on that. I'll just leave it. Rain 3003. I was in the Revo beta, so I've had one in some form since about May. So I've done quite a bit of printing on one. Okay, let's save and restart. While we're here, we have some warnings up here about G-code macros not defined. Let's go to docs.mainsail.xyz. And where is the macros? So G-code macro pause. Let's copy this. Go back here. And do we have a mainsail? We do not. So this is before we were configuring a different mainsail configuration. Do we have an example? There's not one that's just, okay. Let's create a file. Mainsail.cfg. We're going to put a few things in here, but right now we're going to put that macro. And here. What else? Resume. Grab that. And cancel print. we're not done here, but we're going to save and close, and we're going to go into my printer config, and we're going to grab these items, which are, and we're going to include mainsail.cfg, save and close, and put these in here. Now, is that, I think the rest of that is okay. Save and restart. That get us to a no warning state. Yep. Should be good there. What is our warning here? Previous undervolted and previous throttled. That's interesting. Huh. Back to configuration. Actually, let's go over here. Documentation, big checks, and we're going to run a PID tune on the heater. And I'm going to run this at about 210, since we're going to run, we are going to run PLA on this to start. Hot end fan turned on, which is a good sign. Now we just wait for this to do its thing. Did I miss any questions or anything in chat? Chat got real quiet. Am I still live? I think it's really far behind, because we're like oh, that's a good point. We're like 3 chats behind in the overlay versus what's actually happening. You guys are absolutely right. We are missing something. He's asleep, but I'm going to wake him up. Charlie cam time. Look at that sleepy face. Hi, Derek. Thanks. $5.99. You're alive? Of course I'm alive. Oh, still alive. Yes. Yep. He needs to be woken up. He sleeps too much. Yep. Examine new stuff. I think it's set to low latency. Let's find out. Stream latency is low. Yeah. I have noticed my new internet speed is really helping. I've upped my bit rate, and YouTube has not complained once. So I'll have to figure out why the overlay is cutting off that last line, though. Oh, he's gonna be missing. He's gonna be missing fur for a while. He's missing some on his front legs too. Here's a 16 years old. Charlie's almost 15. Quick question. On my Voron 2.4, when I print a 30mm side piece oriented at 45 degrees, I get a dimension of 29.72 on both sides. That's probably extrusion multipliers. How is his ass grass doing? Let's keep the tail out of the way of the tail in the way. But yes, he still has a patch. It is starting to come in though. There's a lot more orange there than there was before. Got all the fur. That finished? Yeah. PID tune finished. You ready to go back to sleep? Oh, it's not just me. Other streamers are getting that cut off view. Because I've got the full window. I'm not cropping it at all. I set the size, but it's not cropped. So, and when I change the size just a little bit, the cutoff point seems to stay the same. He'll rub his chin on everything for a while. How are we doing here? A little over 2 hours? That's not bad. I'm a little apprehensive of the next part because it's been a long time since I've done dual color printing and how that is set up. Okay, you can go back to sleep. Hardman, some cat candy for Charlie. Thank you. 100 Swedish crowns? Is that right? Okay, back. This finished, so I'm gonna do the save config. We need to set the Z offset. If the viewer finds our stream is running slow, they can increase speed to 1.5 until it catches up. But the difference we're seeing here is I'm seeing chat in the window, the chat window, and then I've got the overlay, my OBS screen here, and I can see the difference. So it wouldn't have anything to do with the viewers, because I'm seeing it. Thanks, HEK. Actually bought this from Subaru at a Subi Fest. Let's get the bed warming up. And my overlay, I'm using just a browser insert into OBS, and then I copy and paste the live chat URL every stream. It doesn't seem too big of a deal. I think Nero's using the Streamlabs or the Stream, I don't remember what it's called, but I think there's a website out there that you can do all this stuff in. I got the bed heating up I like to do my Z offsets warm. I don't know why you would do it cold. I haven't quite figured that out. But my local realtor is very, very helpful in leaving these little notepads for me all the time. So I have stacks of them, and those work great for my Z offset stream elements. That's it. For a long time, the realtor was leaving these little pads, little notepads on my porch, and it just works great for just a small. Don't have to grab a sheet of paper. How do you keep your Bowdoin tube from jamming the Y when homing your Trident? Mine will sometimes smash between the gantry and motor. I think the trick, and let me see if we can get at least a good enough view here to see. The trick is this loop back going into the exhaust, getting that right to where it's kind of twisting the Bowdoin inside the printer up out of the way. Does that make sense? OBS is awesome. It's so configurable. And I'm still, I have no idea the extent of what I can configure on here. I just look up YouTube videos and try to get tips and stuff. Okay, this is up to speed, so let's see what we're doing here. A little quicker on that X homing. Your Trident Bowdoin clicks on the LED chamber lights on the side when leveling and drawing the purge line. Mine does too. Okay, we are going to go back here and the configuration checks. What was I? Probe calibrate. Calibrating probe Z offset. So we're going to run this command right here. Probe calibrate. Put that in there where you can see it. Okay. And then test Z. Z equals, looks like I'm going to start with -5. Let's see if we can get, maybe I can switch back and forth. If I can get a good enough view here. Aside from the focus not being great, it's not too bad. Okay, so then I'm going to run that test Z again, and I'm going to go -1. Should see that go down just a bit. We are really close, so I'm going to go in like 0.2 increments. I don't feel like I can tell with a feeler gauge as well as I can with the friction of a piece of paper. And I'm going to fine tune this on a print anyway. This is just getting me somewhat close. I'm just running 0.2 down. Yep, and there. I can just feel it. And I'm going to start, there's some friction there. I feel like it might still be a tad high, but I'm going to start there, and then I'm just going to adjust it during a print from there. Johnny Boy Tech, are you way behind in the stream? Charlie's back asleep now. Or are you asking for Charlie? Okay, so that is correct. So now we're good. So we're going to accept that and then save the config. Hi, Juan Carlos. I think we're basically ready to start playing with a Does Clipper support different Z offsets for different filaments? I'm not sure. I think you can set that in your slicer though. Okay, we're all homed. What colors do we want to do? I have no idea what we're going to print. Oh, I'm missing a collet clip here too. That's what fell off my bench earlier. But I don't know where it went. Let me see if I can find another one. Yeah. The music is sounding a little bit right. Interesting. There. They're even orange collet clips. Oh, what color, what color, what color? Thoughts on a 0.5 millimeter nozzle? Best of both the 0.4 and 0.6? I don't know, but I think they're a lot less common. I think you reduce your selection of nozzle choices, right? Let me go look at my PLA selection and pick a couple of filaments. I'm just gonna grab, I got a eSun, Fire Engine Red, and Blue. Please change the display color. What do you want the display color to be? This is extruder 1. Not exactly sure what the process is going to be to... I'm just going to run a single color test print. So I'm just going to run this through to the end. Just set that there for balance. It needs to be orange to match the aesthetic. That's pretty close to orange. This isn't red. Let's see what are my display settings? Where do I have? Go way down here. Oh, too far. I think too far. Yeah. Oh, did I? Where did I set that? Oh, mini 12864 config. Let's close this. There we go. We are red with a little bit of green and blue. It's pretty orange in person. But if you have a suggestion for changing these values to make it more orange, we can try that. Anyway, if somebody has a suggestion, we can come back and try it. Let's go and look at... Let's heat this back up. I think in person it looks pretty orange, so we're good. We'll move on. I'm gonna clean the bed while we're here. The display needs more cowbell. While we're waiting, let's start up. One green 0.6. Let's take a very minor sidetrack. 1 and green 0.6. Let's see what that looks like, and then we'll move on. Well, that's awfully green. That's way green. Okay, we gotta fix that. I think it was good at 0.1. We're gonna leave it. More relevant is how Steve is not ranking well in the 3D printer YouTube beard rankings. Well, a year and a half ago, I had a beard down here. If you look at the original Trident release or Switchwire release video. So we're going to leave it right there. Let's start up Prusa Slicer. Wrong screen. This is... I imported my Switchwire config, but it didn't save it. So let's import it again. Import config, and I had thrown it... Uh-oh, where did I put it? Oh, that's why. On the USB card. USB drive and Switchwire multi-material config. So let's open this, and this brings all this in. We are going to do a single color print first, though, to check things out. Let's go to the expert. This is like a couple of streams ago, I completely reloaded this computer back to Windows 10 from Windows 11, just because it gave me more opportunity to follow along with suggestions for troubleshooting the stuff that was going on with my stream. That means that all this stuff is being redone. I don't have anything there. Let's switch this back to one extruder just for some test print. Let's add a box. Alexander, this was not a LDO Switchwire kit. This is Switchwire.001. So this is the printer that I built when RCF was designing Switchwire. Oh, you guys aren't seeing anything that I'm doing. So this is serial number 1, which is the second Switchwire. So 000 belongs to RCF. Let's go let's just do something somewhere around the middle and 1 layer thick. And over here at print settings, we're going to set up a Switchwire device, Switchwire.local test. Works correctly, so say OK. Save. Can't overwrite. Okay, that's fine. I hate one thing really bugs me. Maybe someone can explain why. Something that really bugs me about Prusa Slicer is that I can import a profile, but I have to, if I want to do anything with this, I need to switch. I need to rename it. I need to save a new version of it. So let's just I have 2 Switchwires here, so I'm going to call this Switchwire Orange, and this is the multi-material version. After saving, okay. Do a Joel. Well, the first print I want to do is fine-tuning my Z offset. So that's why I'm doing the 1 layer thick little cube. Now, is this going to run? Yes, it'll run a bed mesh. It's bare bones. Let's see how this does. Let's send it to the printer. Now we should see that guy right there. What's the documentation like for dual M4 Switchwire? What documentation? I don't use Super Slicer. There's too many things that you can't stay on the new version without risking odd problems. Let's see what happens. Start a print. Oh, I've got 60 as my bed temp. It's lowering the bed temp. And then I want to be ready with a reset because I do not want to drag this nozzle against the bed. Looks like I have a 3x3 mesh set up by default. So it's not a mixer, it's a Y adapter. So it'll pull the one filament completely out of the way before well, that looks reasonable. So I'd let this go do the perimeters, and then I tune the first layer based on the infill. I don't remember what I set, DJ. Oh, we never set up the Stealth Burner NeoPixel. It's a little high, as I expected. Let's turn it down a little bit. Turn it down a little bit more. Yeah, much better being high than, especially with this nice new Revo Voron. We're getting close. Little closer. We're at minus 0.085 right now from what I had set. We need bling. What color do I make it for this one? All that orange around the tool head. I almost made it printed the stealth burner front in black so I could have a bright orange LED coming through. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that right there, I think. Yeah, I'll let that finish, see what it looks like. Black LED. I know, I was thinking that, and then I'm like, that doesn't work. The spot camera that I'm on right now is a C922. Green to match the display. Add a color sensor and match the filament color. Yeah, it's a Logitech C922. This is the first time this printer is printed in well over a year. So this is awesome. We have dusted it off. We have started a print. So what I'd like to do, because we're at almost 3 hours here, what I'd like to do is we've done a print now. This is dusted off. It's back up and running. Let's do another 10 or 15 minutes. This is going to keep printing. Maybe we can set up the LEDs, take a few minutes to do that. But we'll come back next week and we'll play with the multi-color stuff. That'll also give me an opportunity because right now I've been up to my neck in trying to get some other things done. So let me make next week work well from a showing us how to actually do the 2-color prints without me fumbling through everything. There will still be fumbling, don't worry. But I think we're going to enable the NeoPixel because that's only going to take a few minutes, chat for a little longer, and then call it a stream. Next week, we're going to come back and do the actual get a 2-color print going. Since we're right at 3 hours at this point, I feel like doing justice to a two-color print is going to take some time. Not to mention, we could do some 2-color stuff, but you never actually see it finish a print. So I think that's a good idea. See ya, Evil. Thank you. Thanks for being here. This is going to finish. We'll see how consistent it is for the last bit of it. Five-minute 2-color benchy. Oh boy, that would... If it was this big, maybe. Scale it down enough, we might be able to hit that. This is PLA right now. This is eSun Fire Engine Red, which is one of the best reds out there. I love this deep red. No problem, Martin. Thanks for being here. Can we have a look at the bed mesh result? Yeah. Just to have an idea of how flat the surface is. Yep. So for Switchwire, because there isn't any automatic racking, whatever, compensation, we rely on a mesh. You really have to rely on the mesh for your prints. Is frame grounding necessary on the 2.4 since the bed is grounded through the T-nuts or whatever, theoretically touches the frame, so is it necessary? I'm not sure. You might, if you tested conductivity between the frame, because all these frames are anodized, so you don't want to rely on the T-nut actually pushing through that to create a circuit. But if you tested it, then you should be okay. Hello. True master of the garage is Charlie. You're right. So this camera here, don't judge the color by this camera. Sanity, I will take another look at that. Yeah, I'll take another look. Okay. Let's see if we can get a better look at. That's pretty good. See if I can get this off while hot. You don't know. Whoa. Why did my camera turn off? Hold on a second. There we go. I think it timed out because it wasn't active. What's that? I don't know how good that is. The white balance is correct. Okay, let's do a couple of things before we sign off here. Hey, I didn't have a single hiccup last stream, but I was off of this camera for a while, so I need to look at the active timeout settings because I think it just timed out. I don't think there was an actual problem there because it came right back when I power cycled it. Where is that? What do we got here? Where is 00? Is that 00? YX, there we go. It's a 3x3 mesh here. And within 0.1, how do we do this? Is that what we want? How well tuned, calibrated was that printer before you made the hardware switch out? I was getting good prints out of it. It's been over a year since I printed with it though, so honestly I don't remember. Let's go on to the LEDs. So we are going to, at this point, the goal is to make it work, right? We've got about 10 minutes-ish. I often just go to another printer and grab the config from there. I think I have it in here. Where did I put the NeoPixel status LED? Is that right? Yep. Let's just grab this. Machine and printer config. Come down here. I'll put this in right about where my... And I think, what was that? Something, let's look it up. We're going to look it up by going to the Big Tech 1.4 GitHub. And we are in the SKR 1.4 hardware and pins. What's up, Jaeger? And we plugged it into the NeoPixel port, which is right here. And it is 1.24 is our pin we are looking for. I didn't intend for that to rhyme. One dot 2.4. And we are going to go, well, I guess it'll be orange. Save and restart. Maybe we can go with this. Boom. That is not in focus. I don't know if it can focus on that, but it works. We got nozzle lights, we have status light. Just got done with the very first test cuts on your MPCNC Lowrider 2. I helped a neighbor build one of those. That was quite a project. I have my MPCNC. The Lowrider is a whole other beast for getting set up. So with that, let's just, any chat that you guys, any questions you have, kind of wrap up the stream. Next week we'll come back and do some 2-color prints. How's the neighbor's Voron getting along? He's made quite a bit of progress. He has the frame built. He's built some of the gantry. I don't know how far he got last night. But he's doing well. I got a few more parts printed here for him. I've not used stealth yet. Can you change the color of the LEDs at the bed as well? Yes, the nozzle LEDs, they're just as configurable as the status LED. They're all part of the same chain and they're all the same types of LEDs. Ah, perfect timing. One ear pod is dying. Right at the 3-hour mark. Yeah, cheers, Squirrel Brain. Trident frame is supposed to show up tomorrow. What color did you get? Jaeger. Charlie is doing great. I feel like Charlie's back to normal. He's a little more snuggly than he used to be, but he'll play. He's doing well. Where to find this cable cover? So this cable cover is not released. It's intended for a toolhead PCB, but it doesn't quite have the volume for it to fit. But it fits here because I don't have a toolhead PCB in there. I find out why the prints failed last time. No, because I've printed like 2 plates of prints. Are you talking about after the stealth burner front failed? Because I've printed like 2 plates of prints after that and no problems. This isn't a failed one, but it's a different version. This I printed after that, no problem. Same G-code. And then I printed it again because a revision came out. That's beta life, right? LDO blue. Yep, I like LDO blue. Steve, what dual head do you use? So this is a Y adapter that RCF designed for Afterburner. That's what I'm using. I opened it up earlier in the stream. If you go back, you'll see I opened what it looks like inside and how it assembles. Early in the stream. Good night, Rainer. All of the colors. It's kind of... It's neat to have that variety in these frames. All the colors have been nice. Yeah, I have no idea why the one failed. Because it wasn't a clog, it immediately extruded filament after. But it just stopped printing at some point. But it kept moving because it was at its final print height. But I did nothing and started the same print and it worked fine. Any indications on when the R2 parts will be released? Soon. Sooner than last time I said soon. But nothing solid. There's all of this. Remember, Voron is a group of volunteers. Everybody doing things on their own time. If one person that's critical to the workflow of something being released can't get to it, then that's fine. We don't have deadlines. We don't have time constraints. So, how many more printers to get the full LDO frame color set? Currently released, if you don't consider Space Gray released, then I have all the full color palette. Space Gray is next. Need to finish my V24, so close to done. Been focused on woodworking. Yeah, woodworking's fun. I do a little bit. I did built this workbench a couple of weekends ago. I wish I had sharpened my plane because I do have some gouges from using a dull blade in the planer. Which is better, dual head or IDEX? What do you think? The advantage of, so the disadvantage with a merging Y adapter type thing, you have a more difficult time doing multiple materials because it's hard to keep from contaminating the other material with the one, right? Keep from cross contamination. IDEX doesn't have that problem because you have individual that's completely separate. The orange Trident here is going to get the Eddy IDEX treatment at some point. It is like Pokemon. Gotta have them all. That was not a 5-minute speed bench, but it was pretty quick. It only took me a few days. Space gray, which Voron and what accent color? That's yet to be determined. So you got ooze on an IDEX or purge tower on a splitter. This will stay as a Y splitter setup, so I should have some sort of comparison. I think RCF doesn't have too many printers, actually. There's quite a few. There's quite a few people with a lot of Voron printers. I'm sure I'm not the... I know I'm not the most. But with this printing now, technically I still have one printer that I couldn't print in the next 10 minutes. But I could probably print within like half an hour of working on it. I have the tool head apart right now. But at that, other than that, every printer here can be printed on. What's the difference in usage between the mini LCD display and clipper screen on like a Wave Share? I like those Wave Share touch screens. You get access to almost everything right there. You can shut down the printer from there, like shut down the Pi. You can access most of your macros from there. You don't get much of that in here. This is very basic. Most of this clear Bowdoin stuff I've bought off Amazon. It's the 4mm outer diameter, and no, this stuff, this might be 2mm because it is Bowdoin. I might have switched this out to 2mm. Which one? I can pull this to see. Yeah, this is 2mm stuff because I'm running it a Bowdoin setup. But any of this I've been able to get on Amazon. I have ordered some off AliExpress as well. So Big Tree Tech makes a lot of those touch displays and Wave Share. I have a Big Tree Tech 4.3-inch version. It's just enough different from the Wave Share 4.3-inch version that I can't use the same mounts. Touchscreen mounts will stay as a mod. The touchscreen displays are expensive. They're $30-$40 each. In release, we'll keep it simple with this $10 display. Would a Bondtech LGX Lite work for the dual filament? As far as trying to put two of them on in a direct drive or having them as in a Bowdoin setup, I think it's still too tight and would, well, especially with the steppers on it, to get it on the tool head. I'll be keeping a couple of printers with the 12864 display, but I think I'm going to move most of mine to the touchscreens. These are configurable, like what Lars is saying. You can add all kinds of stuff. I haven't gotten into that though. Might be a good subject to learn and share. Could you remove the build surface and show the details of the Y plate and Y motion system? Sure. I mean, I can't get this off. So this is a Prusa Mark 52 bed, straight from a Prusa Mark III. We have and we use the same carriage, the Y carriage, as the Prusa Mark III, and then a printed part to hold the belts for the belt system. Is that what you're looking for? Where do I find touchscreen SEL that fits skirt for Trident? I would look in the user mods. So Voron GitHub user mods is where I would go for something like that. Is there native support for WaveShare on the Pi OS? Yeah, most of those connect with that DSI ribbon cable, and they show up right away. I think I covered installing one of those. I think it was on the Orange Trident here. I covered all that setup for clipper screen and stuff. The carriage is aluminum on this. So lastly, anything display-wise that works for the 2.4 should work for Trident. It's all the same dimensions. See ya, Andrew. With that, I think we're going to call it. So once again, thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. I appreciate you being here. I had fun. Next week, we're going to do a lot of configuration and get a dual color print going. So we will see you next week. Thanks again. Bye.